So thanks for coming. And today I'm Devant Sangaljan. I'm the founder of Human Insight Ventures. And the reason we're here today is because you guys applied for an internship here. And so what we want to do is just talk a little bit about what the internship is, what we offer, and kind of what we're looking for. We'll also hear from some of the folks who have done the internship or are doing the internship and just give you a sense of kind of how that's gone for them. There'll be time at the end for questions. If you have any questions, you can certainly ask them. Yeah, anything else anything anybody wants to say before we begin, or um, yeah, I doubt it. But okay, all right, cool. Um, so we are looking for interns for Human Insight Ventures. Hopefully, you guys know a little bit about what we do. We build some software, we do some training and education. And the way that I just wanted to start the call was with some of the more kind of uh, basic questions around what does the internship look like, how long is it, what's the stipend, just to get all of those like very kind of procedural questions out of the way. So let's just do that first, and then we'll talk about a little more detail about what we'll be kind of doing through there. Um, uh, so this is kind of the agreement that we have in place. And so essentially, the purpose is to give you kind of some training, some opportunities for growth, and then also evaluate if this is something that could lead to kind of working with us full time. Yeah, we do not guarantee full time employment based on an internship, which hopefully most people kind of that's the way that most people think about it. But yeah, just to say that it's a 3 month internship. In month one, we just do training, and we'll talk a little bit about what kind of training we do and how that may be helpful for you. That 1 month is completely unpaid. In months 2 and 3, we may extend your internship, or maybe if it's not working out, we can kind of call it at 1 month. But if it's working out, you can either continue unpaid, or if you're placed on a paid project, there's a stipend between 5 and 10,000 as well. And then post internship, if you're doing really well, and there's some positions that we have open. If you are selected for any of those, then we'll kind of go into full-time employment mode there. So that's kind of the very basic idea. So unpaid in the first month, and then potentially paid in month 2 and 3. And then if we decide to kind of go forward from there, there's also kind of full-time things available. Um, these are some of our core values. It's difficult to just say and have you believe them. Like, why should you? Maybe when kind of some of the interns that who've already worked with us talk about their experience, hopefully this some of the stuff will be more alive and real. But basically, we place a very high kind of a lot of what we do is very self-directed. I'm not, yeah, no one's sitting and kind of being super like do your work and all of that stuff. We rely on people's own intrinsic curiosity and interest and motivation to kind of get our work done. We really care about really good design, about making sure that we don't have endless meetings where we're sitting and just like it is in a lot of corporate places where you're just sitting on a call and your life seems like your job is like basically to sit on calls and look pretty. That's not the point here. Um, yeah, and basically, we want you to work here if you really enjoy it, and if you don't, that's totally fine. But we don't want people like, yeah, I mean, this is something that's really important. Is just people who really enjoy the work that you're doing, because I think all of us do. Um, Responsibilities, yeah. So this is earlier we used to offer this part-time and full-time. I think this time we're going to do only full-time internships. And what we ask is we have daily co-working sessions. So we may not have meetings every day, but we all come together and kind of work online. And so the ask is that you do that with your cameras on, just so that there's a feeling of kind of having a community that you're working with, and not just you sitting at home and working by yourself. There are, and again, we'll talk about more of this when we talk about the structure and what we teach. But really important that you kind of commit to completing your weekly reviews and planning. And there's a bunch of system stuff that we teach you, and we ask that you do that quite continuously. Um, uh, company values and policies, document your work clearly and transparently. Um, so yeah, not huge kind of ask there, but we do ask that you show up every day. And I mean, if you need to take time off and you have stuff going on, that's okay. But in general, we hope that your default is to be kind of there every day. We'll give you a bunch of training and mentorship. Um, and that's really really structured here, and I'll talk about that in a second. Most of the time I will ask you to do work that you like. I won't force you to do work that you completely hate, because again, going back to the principles, we want to make sure that this is something that's working for you. Compensation we talked about. uh, you can leave anytime. I retain the right to kind of end the internship at any time as well. There's no lock-ins or commitments or bonds or anything like that. Yeah. We're happy to give letters of recommendation. Um, Potentially down the road, there'll be kind of certificates on the academy side as well, so you can kind of take those. Yeah. Um, and just, I mean, my basic ask is just be like a decent person to the people you work with, respect their time, don't be, rude or mean to them, and we'll largely be okay. Yeah. So that's just the kind of very basic structure of what we're offering. Any questions at this point? Does that make sense? All good? Awesome. Thanks,
I have
Adele.
a question.
Yep.
So sorry, I probably missed the starting 5 minutes part. I want to ask, like, when you talk about the responsibilities and the duties, so what would they be more aligned to? Like, what kind of training and in what area, like,
So
generally?
when you filled out the form, are you in like Shweta, what's your background? What's your interest?
So, my background basically is in health tech and a little bit of that. So I
Oops. Uh-oh. Sorry. I kicked her out by mistake. I was trying to pin her. Sorry, guys. One second. Uh, Shweta, you there again? Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah.
something just. Yeah, sorry. So I'm basically looking for some training in the product management strategy or consulting something, and that's the reason I applied to that position.
Okay.
Uh, this internship like probably some time back. So basically, I just want to know that if you're going to provide training and everything, and what would it be more catered towards? What type of training? Yeah.
Okay. So there is training. I mean, it sounds like you're in the more in the product and design strategy space.
Yes, I want to get more exposure to
Yeah.
it, definitely.
So, I mean, we have people who do that. I think Twisha is probably a really good person to talk about that. So we do offer training in that and even more foundation stuff. So we'll get to that. Yeah. 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 And I think broadly your question was, hey, is there training for me? The answer is most of you are either engineers or designers or product people. Uh, and so there is kind of training for those things specifically. We're also looking for some roles that are not only in the technical space. And basically, yeah, we will help you do that as well. But we'll cater it to whatever kind of you're interested in, what you want to work on. Yeah, thanks. Any other questions from anyone else?
And just a second to that question is, you talked about like after the first month, the selected interns would be placed on project and everything. So any idea about what the projects would be covering or the area of project?
Yeah, I can talk about that as well in a second. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Anything else from anyone? Any other questions?
Yeah, I just wanted to know that is there any HR internship available? Because I was asking for my friend.
Okay. Uh, there is some kind of HR work, but it's not HR work in the traditional sense. Uh, if
Okay,
your friend is interested, I would say just come for the first month, do that basic kind of stuff, and then we can
okay,
see, there's some overlap in terms of what we can do. There is a lot of like HR, essentially HR stuff. Yeah.
okay,
So you can ask them. So I'll be sending out at the end of this call, there'll be a form and I'll ask you guys to apply and just tell me a little bit more about yourself. And then there'll be like a screening
okay,
process after that. So I'm happy to share that link. I'll post this call as well, so you can share that with them. And if they're interested, then they can fly.
okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh, cool. All right, let's move on. So just a little. Okay, so maybe let's talk briefly about the projects that we work on. Um, oops, sorry, I'm sharing the wrong screen. So these are the four kind of streams that we're working on. One is training and development, and that's kind of the main push that we're working on. I'll show you a little bit more about that. In-house products. So we kind of, yeah, maybe I can just show you Kitabnama really quickly. Um, so there's a product that we've been working on, and essentially it's an AI powered reading application. So the idea is there's like an AI here, and you can go and talk to this AI. Hey, can you help me find a book?
Okay, here's something interesting. Hey,
Anyway, so Sahil, who's on the call, is still working on this, but essentially the idea is that you can come here and get book recommendations on what makes sense for you. For example, if Shweta is really interested in product and strategy, then these are actually the books that are on the screen right now that we would encourage you to read. These are a lot of the really good product and design books out there. So the idea is that Swati would, that's what we call our AI agent, that Swati would talk to you and figure out kind of what your reading goals are, what your professional goals are, and then she would help you figure out a plan for how to read them. And then even when you go to the book and you are reading the book, Swati is there with you, and she can help you understand things. She can help you make notes. She can answer questions about kind of what you're reading. Also, she'll keep a little bit of a eye on how much you're reading, where you're getting stuck, things like that. And then one of the features that we now are starting to work on is basically you can go into a room and then talk to Swati and be like, hey, how am I doing? And Swati can tell you, oh, Shweta, your reading goal was to read maybe 4 books about product before the end of the year. You've been putting in time, but over the last 3 weeks, I've noticed that you haven't really read more than 20 pages in each given session. And so maybe try to like create more time at a time of day where you're maybe not sleepy. I see that your reading sessions are late at night, and so maybe you're falling asleep as you're doing this, things like that. So this is one of the products that we built, and actually this product is all built by interns who have worked here. So Twisha and Sahil and I don't know who else is on the call, but this is something that we've all built together. And yeah, I'm really kind of very happy and pleased. And one of the big engineering challenges, or the one of the big problems that we're thinking about doing, is building a standalone. Right now, we have Swati plugged in to the app. What we're trying to do is figure out how do we create a separate kind of application basically for the AI that both the kind of this page and the readers can call, that persists data across students. So basically, the idea is there's a long-term view of how students are progressing in their reading journey. We want to deploy this in kind of the training that we do for college level people, but then also go to schools, because it's all AI based, it's all language agnostic. So you can put in books in Tamil or in Konkani or in Marathi, and we can have these books made available. Even if the books are not available now with AI, you can just translate them and make them available. And so I think reading is a really, really big part of kind of what we want to encourage. Again, it'll go back to the fact that AI is coming, and we're becoming less and less used to being able to do really kind of concentrated intellectual work. And the reality is that in order to have successful careers, we need to be able to do that. And so a big focus is how do we like um, increase our ability to work and not become just super intellectually incapable because there are all these great tools out there. So this is one kind of product that we're building in that direction, and this is one kind of that we would be working on. Yeah, you won't like we want people to be at a certain level before we start letting them kind of work on this. But yeah, this is one of those projects that we built, and yeah, I'm so proud and happy of this. Yeah, this is all built by interns. So that's one of our products. So we do design and product consulting. So I think one thing that happens is that everybody wants to work on real projects, right? And even when you go and apply for jobs, people will ask you, hey, like what real project have you worked on? So what we do is we partner with NGOs and we ask them to give us kind of work that they need help with. A lot of these are very small NGOs. They don't really have the resources to be able to afford technical work, but they're doing really impactful work on the ground. So we partner with them, they give us projects, and then what I have you guys do is just lead those projects, and go and talk to the NGO, figure out what they need, build it. We'll create little pods of like product design and engineering, and hopefully have you guys execute that whole thing end to end. And so that's some of the stuff as well. Yeah, incubation, we're not really there yet. Hopefully, some of you will want to become founders, and then we can help you guys start your own companies. But that's maybe a little bit in the future. So that's just a little bit about the projects that we do. These are some of the people we work with in the past. Yeah. So that's. Oh, sorry, you can't see my screen anymore. Yeah. So this we talked about, this is Kitabnama. This I'll talk about in a second, and this is what I was just talking about. So you'll get real world projects. I don't want to give you like fake work. That's just like meaningless. Also, I don't have the bandwidth to be able to supervise you as you work on like Kitabnama and things right away. So in the interim, that's what we do is we get you to work on real projects that also have like a kind of social impact. Yeah, that's kind of what we have. Okay, let's talk very briefly about the training. I think this is, for me at least, the stuff that I enjoy the most and hope that you will also get the most amount of value out of. Um, mm, mm, mm. So this, I assume you can see all this. So this is the main training and development part of what Human Insight Ventures does. There's a little bit of a story about basically, I mean, this is a deck that we made for colleges. So, it may not all be geared right towards you, but essentially the idea is that we're all told in college that just do well, right? Like work really hard, and just this race, and get to the race, end of the race with good marks, and somehow you'll get a good job, and then everything will be okay. Um, and yeah, sometimes that's not the case. We all want essentially the same things from our careers, which is security, recognition, and growth. Um, and but the fact is, yeah, that AI is coming, and just like lots of changes are happening, and uh, no one really gives you like a roadmap for how to like navigate this. And we often spend a lot of time trying to figure it out, like what do we optimize towards, how do we kind of play this game. And again, it's shown as a race, or like it's like snakes and ladders or something, like, oh, you have to like get to the end. But the reality is more like a game of poker. You're always gambling, you're always taking bets on your work, which line of work you pursue. I think there's a lot of engineers in the room. One thing that terrifies me is a lot of us are still assuming that we're operating in the tech ecosystem of like the early 2000s. And you're like, oh, go learn these languages. Sorry, I'm not trying to scare you at all. But I'm just saying, like, the rules are changing really fast, right? All of the very low value kind of writing tests, and just the low, I mean, there's almost a hierarchy of work in tech as well. And there's some work which, if you think about it as a building, it's basically bricklaying work, where it's fairly manual and not a lot of like design or thinking is going into that. That work is just all vanishing, right? It's just going. And so there's a lot of demand for people who can use agents, but not a lot of demand for the people who can do work that is now being done by agents. And so I think just knowing this and making informed decisions about where you want to invest your time, and what kind of jobs you want to take, that's really important. And I think, yeah, you need just a way to be able to do that. Um, and so this is the kind of basic problem, that there's lots of stuff that's changing, and lots of people don't have the tools to be able to navigate that. All of this stuff is coming. I think this middle one is especially kind of a problem. I don't know if you guys, there was this an MIT study, our brains on GPT, and there's a big concern that we're losing our ability to kind of just do really deep, meaningful work. And that's a reality that we need to face up to. And yeah, even with AI slop and just the amount of like social media engagement that's coming, it's like we need to be careful about how we direct our attention. And the education market isn't keeping up. Again, this is a pitch for colleges, but yeah, this is kind of the thing that we want to solve. um, and okay, I'm talking a lot here, so I'm going to take a break. But the idea is, be independent. Okay, like, don't rely on other people to direct your careers, to tell you, to train you. And I think especially when I was also young, I was like, oh, I'll get out and I'll find like a great mentor, and they'll like, teach me everything I need to know, and then I have this fantastic career. And that's great. It does happen, but it doesn't happen for everyone. And I didn't get a job at a fancy company coming out of college. I didn't go to McKinsey or whatever. And so through my career, I really had to kind of figure it out on my own. And that's what I realize at some point, that if you can make stuff happen on your own, if you don't have to rely on anyone to be productive, if you don't have to rely on anyone to kind of keep upskilling yourself, you will be fine. It doesn't matter what happens in the world. If you are independent, if you are able to seize opportunities as they come, no matter what happens, you'll be fine. So that's the kind of central crux of what we do. So if we go back to the first slide, find your own way to meaning, purpose, and success, right? Don't hope and expect the world to deliver this to you. It just, it might work out that way, but that would be a great coincidence. Don't kind of count on that happening. So what do we teach? So we think about careers on a few levels. There's outcomes, which is what we want, right? We want a salary, we want recognition, we want growth. Um, there's process, which is what we do to get that. So you'll work at jobs, you'll learn skills, you'll come to these kind of like meetings and hope that something works out. This is what you do. And this is where a lot of courses focus, is like, how do you do stuff better? How do you write resumes better? How do you interview better? Right? That kind of thing. There's a more foundational layer, which is a system layer. So how do you decide about how to prioritize things? Very basic things like how do you communicate? Basic things like how do you like structure your week? How do you become independent? How do you increase your ability to do cognitively challenging work? All of this, I think, falls into the system layer, and that's kind of where we come in. I want to show you this other slide. Uh, I just like enhanced this and made this. So again, so outcomes are what you want and what everybody sees, right? These are the big signboards that you're like, oh, look at that person. They have this fantastic career. They make so much money. They're so well respected and known. They get invited to all these seminars and whatever, right? This is what you want at the end. But you can't, if you just sit and hope and wait for like, oh, I just want a lot of money. And I see this a lot. People are like, oh, I want to make a lot of money. Like, that's great, but that cannot be your career direction, right? That is an outcome of doing a career really well, is you get money. But if your focus is just money, um, that's an outcome. You cannot pursue that directly, right? You can't just like be like, oh, I don't know, maybe you could go to a temple and do some prayers or something for money, like, sure. But actually, in terms of like doing work, there's nothing you can do to just get money. You have to do other things. And that's the process layer. That's all the time we spend um, working, learning, going to meetings, networking, all of this stuff, right? And that's where a lot of people focus, and we focus on the very foundational stuff. So productivity and deep work, communication, finding good work and getting it. Um, and yeah, these are some of our key courses. But this is what we'll train you on how to do, right? And the whole idea here is, once you're independent and you can create independent value, then you are so valuable and useful, right? Because the biggest cost for a lot of companies is just the supervision they have to give to people to get them to a place where they can contribute value. And if you can come in and say, hey, I can run projects on my own, which you'll have a chance to prove, right? And I can sell stuff on my own, like, it's a no-brainer. Why would I not hire you? Right? I don't need to supervise you. You can just go off and do your own thing on your own. It's so fantastic. It's a no-brainer for anyone to hire you. And if nobody wants to hire you, screw them, right? You can go out and do your own thing. You don't have to rely on anyone else. So that's kind of what we'll be working on, and that's the training we offer. Yeah. I think that's all I want to say about that. Any questions? And if not, then what I'm going to do is hand it over to Twisha and Sahil and Deepika to talk about some of the work they've done. Oh, Sarthak's also here. And so just for them to talk about what they've done and, what their experience has been like. Um, any questions before we do that?
Yeah, hi, sir. I have a question. Like, for the way you said, we are going to have a training program. So I just want to know what kind of training are we getting?
So these are some of the key courses that we have. There's a lot more courses, but these are the basic ones. So the first thing we'll start doing is execution. It's the first course that everybody does. Is this how do you like get stuff done on a weekly basis?
I'm a product intern serving here from almost more than a year now. And Yeah, I worked on a very variety of projects. All right. So before I start telling you what I have done more, I'll start with you guys. Uh, Tell me, how many of you have worked as an intern previously? Like, have you had any experiences ever of working
Yeah,
as
I
an
have
intern?
an experience at a company named PTS Bridge, where I
Okay.
was a web developing intern,
Okay.
and I basically worked on the front end part of the website.
Great. Anyone else? Okay. Should we move on to the next one then? Okay. So you said that you had an intern. So what exactly did you learn there? Like, yeah.
Basically, website UI designing was my basic work there,
Okay.
and I got to learn many of the things like optimizing the website for each device and making it responsive, such kind of things I learned there.
Great. Great. Fine. One last question for all of you. What are your expectations from this intern? Like, what are you thinking? What will we do? You'll be given tasks and you'll do it. That's it. Or is there anything else? From whatever you have heard so far from Devansh and yeah, what do you think? Any
like
answers? Anyone? Yeah,
how to
please.
manage the team.
Okay. Anything else? Okay, so basically at Hive, you'll work more for yourself than for the company at any given point. As even Devansh mentioned that it's not about just giving you a task. It is never about that. It is more on what you want to work for, what you're interested in, and you'll be given tasks which match those profiles. It will never happen that you are in the product team and you'll be made to design a code or work for a technical thing. No, that never happens. Technically also it can't, but say you're given a product project and you're not so interested in it, it will immediately get switched off. There is no hard and fast rule of completing a given set of project just because it's allotted to you. That never happens. It is only when you enjoy doing what you are doing that you'll be able to deliver your best. So that is what we will be doing. And at the end of this intern, I'm sure that the answer that he gave about what he learned from this intern will be way more different than what it was in a web development, even if you're in a technical team. So yeah, this question again would be asked probably at the end of the third month, but yeah, really looking forward to hear your answer then. Okay, now I'll share a brief story about what I was before joining this intern and after joining. So I had joined this intern when I was at the end of my second year, and yeah, at that time, technically I didn't even know what profile I want to work for. When I had approached Devansh, I just said I want an internship. I didn't know whether it would be technical, whether it would be product. I didn't know anything at all. So what we did was we just started off with a few minor projects, a few reading works, a few minor tasks like arranging some goals for me, figuring out what I like to do. He gave me tasks which were related to all different fields, and then I picked up from there. And that's how we figured out that yes, I belong to product because that's the work that I enjoyed the most and I delivered it pretty efficiently. So at Hive, you will definitely learn how to approach a new problem altogether in a best way. Uh, you will not be confused at all whenever any new thing is thrown to you. You will have a very structured approach, which is again one of a very important course that you'll be doing in your training. We call it problem solving, a very nice, a very important, and a very efficient course. Uh, Now, when we say courses here, I think people think that courses means that you'll have exams and you'll have videos to watch. No, that does not happen. That does not happen. What you will be doing is you'll be given some activities, you'll be in those courses, those tasks will be incorporated within the technical tasks that are given to you. It will not be anything different. It will not be a special video, a special test, not like Coursera, Udemy courses that happens. All right. And obviously technical skills. So technical skills, I personally am in the product team, so not very a good person to talk about it. My other fellows will talk about that. But yeah, what I can tell you is that when I had joined Hive, I was a cluttered mess when I was designing. I didn't know what colors to use, what shapes to use, what fonts to use. I didn't know anything. I just played around, experimented random things, and yeah. But now I know how exactly to do it in a proper organized manner. What to try first, what to try next, how to understand whether it will suit or not. So these are the things that you learn. It's not that I didn't know designing and Hivers taught me designing. No, not exactly. But rather to have to do it more efficiently, more organized, and more better way of doing it. Yeah, so that's about it. Warm welcome to the team and looking forward to hear it from you all. Any questions? Anything you want to tell me, ask me? Hello. Yes. Sorry, I can't
Hello.
hear you. Yes.
Yes, I'm Monica. So I'm lately joined like 10 minutes late. So I want just a brief what the going on this only one. Is it like a paid
Okay.
or like is it training course or anything? What you are
Okay.
telling that
Uh,
one?
okay. So I think let's hold off on that question. We can come to that maybe at the end, but I think everybody else already we already went over that. Trisha, can you just talk about any specific projects that you worked on that you found really meaningful, or any work that you really liked doing? Just maybe that.
Sure. So yeah, some of the projects that I've worked with is one is Kitabnama, as we saw in the beginning. The features that were there, many of those were designed personally by me. The dark mode, the light mode, and yeah, the reader view altogether that was redesigned by me. Apart from that, this system courses that you guys would be going through, I've had a role to play there as well. Not exactly in making them, that was done all together by Devansh himself. But yeah, what we together do is try and organize it, try and make it more presentable, get user feedbacks as often as we can, do it ourselves and see what are the loopholes there, what are the things we can work on, what are the improvements possible. And yeah, I've worked on minor projects like there was a project that I've worked on which was about making designer visiting cards. A very out of box project, a very small but a very nice project, something that I really, really love to do. So yeah, those were some of my projects.
Awesome. Thanks for that. Really appreciate that. Maybe let's just go to Sahil. He's more on the technical side of things. Maybe he can just talk about kind of what he's done. Um,
So, hello everyone. My name is Sahil, and I joined Hive at a very uh, beginning of this year. In January, I joined and started off as an intern, software engineer intern. So, working at Hive is a great experience. I'll talk about it later. So I'll keep it very raw. I didn't prepare any, slides and stuff. I'll just keep talk to you guys. And if is any question, I'll try to answer that as well. So I worked on Kitabnama, as Devan sir showed you. So the Swati feature you saw, yeah, that feature was made by me. Or you can also check that at app.kitabnama.com and everything. So that's the thing. So I'm not here to, sell anything or everything. I'll just keep talk about my
just
personal
talk about your
experience.
experience. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, just my personal experience. That is completely great. So when I started using Kitabnama, it was a regular, you know, a book reading platform. But as we move forward, Devan sir really pushed an idea of infusing it with AI. That will make it a way more fun and easy to read books. It will just enhance your reading experience. So that's how we work at Hive. Your opinion will never be ignored. You will be very swiftly guided towards the right way. So if you think that, oh, I can work that, I can do that, yeah, you can. So you will develop that can do attitude. If you know things can be done, it will be done. That's the thing. So at Hive, I was very, in a great way, I was nurtured and trained to do my work. So in the start, you will think like when you are doing that execution, deep work, problem solving courses, you will say like, oh, मेरे को ये सब कुछ पता है already. सब कुछ पता है. तो मैं क्यों कर रहा हूँ? But trust me, once you do that, you will be organized and disciplined. You will do everything like planning your system, making your system, improving it week by week. I did it very well. I'm very proud of myself because I did it and with the help of Devan sir and Lokesh sir. Lokesh sir, you'll meet definitely. So it is a very good thing. The most fascinating thing and a particular thing that I took off from this uh, internship is that deep work session. When you deep work session is basically that flow state. I'm pretty much sure आप सबने वो work session किया है कि जहाँ पे आप किसी भी चीज का पे ध्यान नहीं देते and you just keep working on something. I realized that you don't have to do that for hours and hours. If you just do that for 1.5 hours, you will get that efficiency and accuracy for that 6 hours of work. So manage that. Even if you do just one deep work session in a day, it will be enough. So that's pretty much it. I was very nervous and kind of a mess before joining Hive, and now I'm more confident than ever. I can do anything. That basically I developed that can do attitude, and you guys will definitely develop that attitude as well. So if you know things can be done, it will be done. So that's it. So is there any question anyone wants to ask me about work I did and how I did it? So please go ahead.
Sorry, let's just get through the kind of thing first. I want Sarthak and also be able to talk.
Yeah.
Maybe we can do questions at the end.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Cool. Thanks. Yeah, Sarthak, you okay to share something about your experience and just talk about what, your experience has been. Yeah.
Okay, so start from an introduction. So I'm Sarthak. I'm a fourth year MGA student at IIT Kharagpur. So I joined Hive Academy just 2 months ago. Uh, I was informed by Trisha, she's my batchmate. So I got to know about Hive, and I have also previously interned at some great corporate firms. But the experience at Hive is totally different from that. When you work at big firms or any other internships, you get some predefined work and a allotted time, like what you have to do. So, what you're focused on to complete that work in a given time, no matter what you are interested in and what you want to work on. So, you get a predefined work and you just have to worry about that. And there is no kind of exploration and there's no meaning of your point of interest or how do you want to work. But when it comes to Hive, I have definitely seen like first 15 days, like we were just discussing on figuring out like the things which are stacked on and what are the things that I would like to work on. So me and Devans were like just figuring out like, yo, these are the problems and we should shift our focus on this. Like, and Devans already and many times they have just asked me like, Sarthak, what are the things like you really want to work on? Like, so I joined Hive Academy as an AI intern, like AI is a but after joining, like I have worked on many other projects also. I was joined for Kitabnama AI integration, but I really transformed a content to a book overnight, and I think that will be available soon. And then I also worked on something like intent management and all. And then after We are working on organizing things and creating a setup to manage people and all, to manage our work. But the most important thing we learn at Hive is to prioritize things. Because everyone have their work, they know what to do, but they don't know like which things to do first. Like we have already listened about the book Eat That Frog. So that describes like what kind of work you have to really put your efforts on. But here, you does that practically. So when it comes to Hive, you organize your work, you track down your progress, and you prioritize things like which work should be done earliest. So in that way, your efficiency increases too much, and you get done things quickly, very quickly. So the better, like you have always listened about, like yeah, fail often. Like we have to like try things because once you are thinking to reach a perfection level, that's not going to happen. So you must start from a basic, get feedback, and get it done repeatedly many times. Then there is a, and perfection is like it never exists, does not exist. Perfection never exists. So you have to just keep trying, improving yourself, improving your work by feedbacks. So that is the most efficient way, and that I learned at Hive. Like whatever work I do, I just present on demands and teammates, and I get feedback, and then I revise my work. So I think that's the better way, and yeah. So that was the all, and I work more on technical side, but Devans introduced me some of the works on the technical side, and I enjoyed it too. And I think like I should also start doing all that things. Yeah, that's my experience.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing, sir. Okay. So in the structure for my call, uh, I normally like to talk about like why I started this and why we do this. Um, but I think this is a great chance to test the website. So I'm going to test the website and see if it kind of makes sense to you. One second. Do, do, do. This one. So this is our website. You can take a look at it. These are some of the other testimonials of people who worked here in the past. This person, yeah, we met when he was in college and trying to figure out what to do. And eventually he got an internship at a VC firm. Then we worked together. He converted into a full-time job. Then he became a director, and now he's left to do his own startup. And this person was basically a musician and he wanted to do a career transition. He was working finance but not really enjoying it. And then we figured out, oh, maybe technical space is a good place to go. Then he did like a bunch of self-study and he managed to get a few jobs. And recently he got a job at Microsoft and moved to Seattle. And yeah, that was it. Like he wanted to move to the US and work in tech. And so that also happened as well. Um, but yeah, for me personally, like I struggled a lot in my career. I didn't get a fancy job out of college. I was unemployed for like long periods of time, and multiple times I got a job which just seemed like a complete dead end. And yeah, I was just like career success never going to happen for me. Eventually, I had to quit my job because literally there was like I was in a completely dead end job. Couldn't get advance, wasn't learning anything, and wasn't able to get any other job. And so just I had no other choice but to quit and try to figure it out. And then it took me a while to kind of figure out how to work on my own, but 6 or 8 months kind of into my solo thing. For the first time, I was making money. I was learning lots of things. I was working on things that I cared about, and I was meeting lots of people. And that was everything that I wanted from my career. And the first time I was able to do that without a job, it, I was just like, this is it, man. Like my whole 20s, I had been told and thought that I needed a job, that I needed a manager and a company and a mentor to give me permission to work on the things that I wanted to work on and to teach me and to do all of these things. And just I don't know if you guys have gone through extended periods of unemployment, but it sucks. And when I realized that basically there are all these things that if somebody had just taught me when I was younger, I could have done it all on my own. And then whether you have a job or not have a job, like it's fine, you can figure it out. But you're not waiting on permission from somebody else to do the work that you want to do in the world. That for me was like just like one of the best moments of my life. And then I started doing startups, and they were like, listen, solve big problems and find problems that people have and solve them. And for me, this is the biggest single problem that I had in my life, and the problem that I see for a lot of other people, especially the really kind of enthusiastic ones who really want to work. And um, it's just really hard to find a space that will, I don't know, appreciate you and nurture you and allow you to express all the stuff that you want to do through your work. And yeah, knowing, just having the tools to be independent makes it so that you never have to wait on someone else to give you permission, and that you can do what you want in the world, just when you have these skills. So that's why I kind of, started this, and that's why we do this. And yeah, it's honestly like this is the first time we had so many people here and sharing, and Tusha's been here for a long time, and Sarthak's been really, really great. Sahil, like people like I remember we had these calls in January as well, and people are like, oh, is there anyone who's like, come and joined like an intern and done really well, and gotten like a full-time thing. And I was like, and now it's so nice to see Sahil here, who, in the first 2 weeks, I knew that Sahil was like so different and so good. And yeah, now he's been here for months, and now I think every Tusha and Sarthak are still in school, but Sahil graduated, and so he's now here full time. And yeah, that's been so great. So I'm also really just happy. Thanks, guys, for sharing that. But yeah, that's the kind of reason or the story behind why we do this. Um, yeah. Deepika, did you want to share something? I think you dropped off in the middle, but is there anything you want to talk about? Just your own experience. If you want to share briefly, maybe you can do that.
Yeah, I everything is covered by Trisha, Sarthak, and Sahil. So I just want to say that initially you will be think like uh, these modules, like, these courses are very common. I knew them. Like Sahil already said that, but don't ever feel that. Just trust the process and keep doing the work you like. And the answer is always there to help you. He guided me, like he really guided me throughout the process. Initially, I read the sprint, and sprint also felt like these things are very common. But yeah, when you apply them, you really uh, get to know about the need of all these things. So that's really important. So yeah, I only want to say that trust the process and always ask for help if you are having any um, doubt regarding anything. Please feel openly ask to the answer. He will really guide you, and that's all I want to say. And cheers to a journey at Hive. All the best.
Okay. All right. I Thanks for that, Deepika. I think that's everything. Questions from people? Any questions for anyone? If you want to ask, I don't know, Trisha or Sarthak or Sahil or Deepika, anything?
Yeah, I have a question like it will be an online working job or like work from office?
We're doing online. It's hard to get everybody together in the office. People
Mm.
live in all different places. So I'm personally based in Delhi, but Trisha and Sarthak are in Kharagpur. Uh, Trisha is also in Bangalore right now. Sai is in Delhi. Deepika is in Chandigarh. So yeah, we're all over the place. So online is just much easier. We can have people from all over join. So that's the idea right now. Long term, we may or
Okay,
may not kind of shift to a thing, but yeah, right now it's all online.
okay.
Yeah. Any other questions from anyone? Going once, going twice, going three times. Okay, cool. Um, so that's kind of what we're offering. That's the internship. Maybe I can just show you quickly some of the positions that we're hoping to hire. Uh, This I'm still working on this list and these job descriptions, but these are some of the positions. So we need people for social media. Um, you know, yeah. There's some event work that we want to do, so we want to kind of do that. This writer and AI engineer, AI generalist, this is something that I really want to hire. Basically, I think uh, yeah, like one good person who can manage like a few bots or like a few agents. So what we're really looking for is people who can understand prompts and prompting and understand kind of what the AI stack looks like and also have domain specific knowledge. Even the engineers, I know we're calling them engineers, but they're basically just using AI more than half the time. So we could really call it like an AI engineer, would just replace the word engineer at this point, I think. We're looking for some designers. Uh, and yeah, this was like a catch-all. But really, like whoever really wants to work, that's what we're looking for. I don't care which college you went to. I don't really care what you studied. If you really, really want to work, that's the thing that we're really looking for. Who people who are really excited about work and really enjoy working and are really like, yeah, like, oh, I want to learn. And because a lot of this again is self-driven. So that's kind of what we're looking for. Um, yeah. So those are some of the positions. If you're interested, then I will give you a form right now, and I'll ask you to fill up that form. Give me 1 second. A second. Uh, I'll just show you the form and what it involves, and um, yeah, feel free to take a look at the website. If you have any ideas on how we can improve the website, I'd love to hear them. Um, This is the form. We basically want you to record like one YouTube video, and just talk about yourself, like who you are and where you're from, what you studied, what you're doing. Um, so just like a general introduction. Talk about anything that you've done that you really enjoyed. So just talk about, I want to know what kind of work you did that lit you up. Right? It could be anything, some school project or something that you learned or anything like that. So just talk about something that you've done that you enjoyed. What your goals and aspirations are for your career. If you have any, if you're like, I don't know, that's fine. I didn't know for a very long time what I wanted to do. And yeah, so that's fine. Just answer this to your best of your abilities. What I would like you to do is, I mean, you've all been on this call, and so you kind of know what we're about. But yeah, just talk about why you would want to work here. And if you had any books that you liked, just talk about them as well. If you have any portfolios that you want us to consider outside of just that video, anything else that you want, just put in links. And again, anything else that you want to talk about or attach or anything like that, you can do that as well. Yep, yep, I think that's it. Wow, 101. What great timing. Okay, does anyone have a joke for us? There's a bunch of people on this call. Uh, can we end with some kind of joke? Anyone? Google a joke. You have to. But give us, let's end with a joke from someone in the gallery. I'll wait. I have no problems. Come on, someone. Abdullah, you got one?
Not right now, mister.
अरे यार गूगल कर लेना क्या हो गया
I'm very bad at jokes.
What do you mean? Oh God. Okay. All right. Uh, Sarthak, Sahil, Tusha. I guess it'll have to be us. These folks are a little bit shy.
Uh, very cliche joke.
Okay, let's hear it. Let's hear it.
Why the software engineers use the dark mode more than the light mode?
I don't
Because
know. Why do
light,
software engineers? Go ahead.
because light attract bugs.
Yeah, and we hate bugs. That's the thing.
Oh, good.
It's a very
Tusha, I really liked your.
very cliche.
Yeah, but nice. Tusha, I like that image that you had of me and Mr. Bean. I love that. And yeah, just last thing, Deepika, really good job on sharing. I appreciate that you did that. And that you came on camera, and that was great. Okay, I think that's everything. Thanks everyone for joining. looking forward to seeing applications from some of you. If you have friends who you think might be interested, please feel free um, to forward this to them. I will post a copy of this call onto the Human Insight Ventures YouTube channel, and so you can look at it or share it if that's something you want to do. Shweta, can I share my background via doc instead of a YouTube video? Shweta, I would honestly really prefer a YouTube video. The reason for that is there's a lot of stuff that we can't tell about you based on a document. Especially now GPT is there, everybody can just like, write lots of documents and it doesn't really mean anything. I think there's some thing that we get from just hearing you speak, and it'll tell us a lot about even your communication skills and that kind of stuff. So if you're comfortable doing a video, I would really really prefer that. Any other questions that people are too shy to ask on camera but want to ask on chat? If yeah, but I think we can end the official part of the call. Thank you so much for joining. Have a good rest of your Saturday, and yeah, hopefully see you guys soon. If anybody has any questions, they can stick around and ask. Otherwise, you can leave. Thanks.
Thank you.
Uh,
Yeah, can any candidate work on multiple roles? Is it possible?
Sorry, who's asking? I can't see.
Yeah, Abdullah. I switch off my camera actually.
Oh, Abdullah. Okay, yeah. Yeah. What are you asking? Can you work on multiple roles?
Yeah.
Like, what do you mean?
I myself was being a photographer since my grade 9th, and I'm also a filmmaker. I used to make reels
very
on
cool.
cinematic reels, like sort of cinematic videos that portray a story on Instagram. So I was, ultimately I was interested in designing, like more of a graphic designing and stuff. So, and I also feel myself very attracted towards this software engineering, like building softwares and stuff. So these things have always fascinated me. So that's why I wanted to know if there is any, by any chance, I can work on multiple roles, if it is possible.
Okay, I would say you can explore multiple interests. That's totally possible. Yeah, yeah, totally possible. I don't know. Trisha, I think, has worked on I don't know how many different things. Sarthak has also worked on I don't know how many different things. So yeah, certainly very much possible. Okay. Anyone else? No. Again, feel free to leave if you don't have questions. Um,
I
I'll
have
just
a
stay till the
question
end because
like, is there a particular fixed working hours, or I'm free to work when I want?
so I think we go for 11 to 5. But sometimes that happens, sometimes it doesn't happen. But yeah, generally we try to work 11 to 5. We have on the engineering team, we have enough
Okay.
people that we have a recurring call, which is at 2 p.m. There is a structure somewhere if you're interested in what the whole day would look like. Let me see if I can find that.
Yeah.
Uh, Tushar, do you know what I'm talking about? That we had that daily schedule, no?
No.
It's buried somewhere. But yeah, we have a general kind of idea, but work on your own. We don't have any like, oh, you have to be here at this time to this time. There's no one who's keeping track, honestly.
Okay. And is it 5 days a week or 6 or 7 days a week?
Again, no one's keeping track. I worked in North America earlier, so I was very much an like Monday to Friday kind of person. But now I really actually enjoy
Yeah.
working on Saturday. But again, it's up to you. No one's keeping track. No one's keeping track.
Okay.
Yeah. Get your work done. That's it. Um, Swarnika is asking, can I ask about how we get informed to join a meeting? Like, I don't understand the question. Can you say more? Swarnika, not sure I get it. How we
I
get
think she
informed to join?
means when she'll
Yeah.
be able to, when exactly do we tell her to join the meeting? Like, how do we inform about meets to people?
Oh, we have a Instagram, WhatsApp group. That's kind of how we figure out when to meet. Yeah, we have a WhatsApp group. Uh, we have an active WhatsApp group. It's literally called active. And so that's where we talk about work, and we're like, normally when I kind of join so normally I just sit on a Zoom all day, and then people come in and out, and we work and we talk and whatever. So normally when I go on in the morning, I'll just send a message that I'm on for the rest of the day. And that's when you can join. There's a standard Zoom link that we always use, so you just have that, and yeah, that's what it is. Does that answer your question? I'm assuming, hoping, yes. Okay. Okay. Any other questions? Anyone? People are still here, so I'm guessing they have questions. But they're not asking them, so I'm a bit confused.
Where can I get the Google form?
Oh, right. Great question. That's the Google form there. Um, yeah. Anyone else? Questions? Just feel free to leave if you don't have questions. I'm so confused. So confused.
Sir, if
Okay.
someone wants to do the job at night, is it possible?
Yeah. Yeah. You can do it at night. You'll have to join some meetings. Um, I mean, just join. You'll like, depending on what you do, you'll probably want to talk to other people as well. Um, I frequently work at night, especially when I have like a lot of work. I'm just like in the day, I'm too stressed. So then I just end up doing it at night. But yeah, you can work at night. Again, no one is keeping track. There's literally no one to keep track. Swarnika is asking where we get, like, how do you join the WhatsApp group? So you'll have to apply, and then we'll kind of figure out, we'll do some screening, and then if you start the thing, then we'll obviously add you to that group. So that's how that will work. Once you apply and we select you for this program, that's when we'll add you to the WhatsApp group. There's like 7 of us who are like on video. I'm just wondering if we can play a game while people get their questions together. Ah, anyone want
I
to ask
have
GPT what's a quick, huh?
Come
I
on, guys.
have another
अब कुछ भी पूछ
question.
लो 2 + 2 क्या होता है
हाँ
यही
हाँ,
पूछ
go
लो.
ahead. Go ahead, Daksh.
Like, am I in, or is there some kind of valuation left for me? Like,
There's some kind of evaluation, so just fill up that form. We
okay,
will be doing
and
some evaluation. Yeah,
okay,
yeah. If you really want to do this, what I really am looking for is just people who really want to do this. So if you really want to do it, just keep messaging me and following up. And I'll tell you a personal story about why I do this. A big turning point in my career was getting into this program called On Deck. It used to be very, very popular and big back in when it was just like early, like in the pandemic time, it was very popular and big. And I applied. So whatever, pandemic was happening, and I met someone who was doing it, and they were like, "Oh, why don't you join this thing?" And I was like, "Oh, that sounds great. Let me do it." And then I applied, and I didn't get in. And I applied for the fifth cohort. Then I was like, "Okay, it doesn't matter." Then the sixth cohort came, so I applied for that. Again, I didn't get in. And so then I applied like 3 times, and then I was like, all 3 times I didn't get in. And then I was like, well, I'm gonna apply once more. And then I was really like, guys, I've applied 3 times, like I really want to do this, like whatever, whatever. And then I got in. So yeah, just keep doing it, keep applying, and yeah, that's what my thing would be. If you're really interested in it, then we'll figure it out. Um, yeah.
So maybe my question is off the track. Can I know your experience because I have gone through your LinkedIn profile and you have mentioned so many things. Could you please share one of the good moment that you have had and one the worst moment you have had?
Okay. So the best moment I think I already talked about. It was 2021. I was living in San Francisco, and I'd gone there to figure out my startup, and it was really hard. I was living in this hacker house when I went, and basically there were all these like I kind of scammed, almost scammed. At least to me, it's somewhat imposter syndrome. It seemed like I scammed my way into this thing, into that on deck thing. And when I went there, there were all these like amazing people who were working there, and I was just like, oh, what am I doing here? And I really struggled those first like 6 months, but January 2022, I want to say. Yeah, living in SF, meeting all these great founders, learning so much. I was being so productive. Finally, I'd figured out how to work on my own. And I was getting like all these like little consulting gigs, and I was just able to pay rent. And I was like, man, this is it. I'd waited so much time in my life waiting to get jobs where some whatever like moron with 4 years more experience than me got to decide whether I was capable or not when they themselves didn't. Anyway, I have a whole like anyway. So yeah, I was so frustrated and annoyed with the whole applying for jobs game. And when I didn't have to do that, that was definitely the highlight. Um, Low lights, so many, man. Wait, okay. I have a Substack. If you guys are interested in that, but I recently wrote this thing. Where is it? Yeah, a list of my professional failures here. So, I didn't get into law school I wanted. I got fired from a job. I looked for jobs for 8 months. God damn depressing. Um, yeah. Then Accenture I went and I tried to do a lot of things. Lots of them failed. Then I quit. This was like, let's not talk about this right now. Yeah, got rejected from a bunch of universities, petitioned all the universities, got rejected again. I spent like a month writing the petition essays. Uh, then did a lot more job applications, rejections. Yeah, software engineer rejections. Then I didn't do well. Then the company I joined was also like really bad. That was actually this 2021, 2022. Um, this this was the worst time. There was a red hot job market in the US. There's so much money had come into the ecosystem after COVID had hit, and everybody was getting jobs, and they were getting like $100,000 raises, not even salaries. Raise उनको मिल रहा था $100,000 का. My friends were making 8, 10 times what I was making and getting jobs, and I just couldn't get a single offer. And I was just like, what the fuck do I do, man? Like I was completely stuck. This was the worst kind of thing. Yeah, this also really hurt. Yeah, when I had to leave the US, that also really hurt. Then I came to India, then I left here or यहाँ पे भी like anyway, so I've had yeah, this has been the thing. And then there's a career, if you're curious, there's a um, so if you're like curious about the actual like trajectory of my career, I've written it down here. Yeah. So I've done like a lot of jobs. Lost track. There's one episode of The Simpsons. I don't know if you guys watch The Simpsons, but there's an episode of The Simpsons where they talk about, like Homer is the main character there, and he like does like a bunch of he has these episodes, and he'll become an astronaut or whatever. Like various things will happen in the episodes. And there's one episode where they list like all the jobs and things that Homer has done. And when I saw that, I was like, oh my God, I feel really seen. Yeah. So I don't know. There's yeah, you can see that. So done lots of jobs, lots of highs and lows, lots of lows as well. All right, people are still here. Questions, guys? Questions. Guys, Trisha, Sarthak, can you prototype anything? We have a captive audience. Anything you want to prototype? Some user testing on? No? Okay. Nitish, Raja, Samir, Swarnika, Tanuj, Shrey, Monica, Shreyanshu, Anjali. Any questions? You want to put them in the chat? Do you want to hear other people ask questions and then you just hear the answers? Is that what's going on? We can ask GPT to generate some questions for us. Okay. All right. Cool. Okay, guys, I think let's call it. Yeah, let's do a little post game in the. Samir is asking, what will be my exact role during this internship, like data analyst or data science? We don't give specific positions in the beginning. You can kind of figure out what you want to do based on what your interests are. Um, if data analysis or data science is what you want to do, then we can do that. We can do that. I don't. If we have work for that, we can do it. Otherwise, you can go and like we'll guide you on how to find your own work for that. Yeah. I don't know. What do you want to do, Samir? Monica, I guess you missed the beginning. Is Monica the one who asked that question? Who came late? Yeah, so it's unpaid. Here's the kind of thing of it. It's unpaid in the first month. Month 2 and 3 is potentially paid depending on if you're placed on a project that is kind of really relevant. And yeah, that's kind of it. So unpaid in the first month, potentially paid in month 2 and 3. Anything else?
Will there be any kind of in-person meetings of the whole
Where do you
team?
live?
Like, I live
Where
in
do you? I
Ghaziabad.
mean, whole team is difficult, yeah, because people are all over the place. How do you? It honestly, like, it costs a
Yeah,
lot of
I
money to get
understand.
people all in the same place. So that's difficult. Sahil and I have met in Delhi. Uh, and Tisha and I have not met, but I hopefully will come to Bangalore early next month. So maybe we can meet if you're still there. Kharagpur, I don't come unless you organize like a nice course or workshop there. It's just like a bit far. Deepika and I have not met also. She's in Chandigarh. Can you forward the agreement? Yes, I can. Uh, yeah, but I mean, there's still like a little bit of an application process before we get to the agreement stage, just for your reference, Shanshu. Okay, I think that's it. I think that's good enough. Okay, thanks everyone for taking time out on the Saturday. Really appreciate Trisha, Sarthak, Sahil, and Deepika. Okay, cool. Talk to you guys soon.